Good morning. This is Carl Dakin, and this is the Successful Funding Show. For those of you new to the show, we talk about funding. Most of our conversation has to do with small businesses and community projects, where we share information about different issues, challenges, and solutions to raising funding. This is part of my work, Carl Dakin, on behalf of Dakin Capital. I present myself as the capital coach, where I work to assist different people, organizations, and businesses in raising funding by walking them through a process to try to pair them with investor candidates who are most motivated to make an investment in their particular investment opportunity. With me today, I have as a guest Emiliano De Laurentiis. He is currently working on a number of things to add some elements to our program today. And with that, we are going to introduce again our digital guest, which is Cap, an artificial intelligence avatar that was developed in concert between Emiliano and myself. And Emiliano will continue to work on that. I'm going to shut off that screen until we get that up and running. And we'll go from there. So, the topic of today is we're going to talk about learning management systems and the use of artificial intelligence avatars to provide what we call just in time knowledge. So, as many of you are aware, artificial intelligence has entered the world at high speed last year and is continuing to make major changes in how we do things almost anywhere, as we find that the use of this tool can greatly enhance our ability to create new documents, to find information, to interface with people who are customers or people within our situation. And as a result, um, it's everything's changing. I think that in my 45 years of working in high tech startups with small businesses, that artificial intelligence is at a point of being more disruptive than any of the other technologies I've seen, which include computers and the internet and so on. I'm going to introduce Emiliano and have him share a little bit of background about who he is and his company, Knowledge Avatars. And then we'll introduce our digital guest at that time. So, Emiliano, welcome to the show, and thank you for being a guest today.
Thank you for inviting me, Carl. It's always a pleasure being here. I think as you suggested, this AI revolution is certainly the at a pinnacle right now. It started so many years ago, and there were so many different versions of it. But what we have today is kind of mind blowing and getting better every moment. Some people are predicting that the singularity will happen within the next 20 years. We're familiar with the
No,
concept.
and for those of you who do not follow science fiction, and so
Science
on,
reality.
a singularity is a concept of an artificial intelligence becoming self-aware or sentient, as it's called. This is the theme of so many different science fiction and science fiction slash horror movies that you all are probably aware of all the terrible things that may potentially happen. And while there is definitely room for caution and any tool can be misused, AI is adding capabilities to small businesses, to communities, to do things that they couldn't do before, or it's elevating their game to another level where they can now perform at a higher standard. And this is kind of what I want to talk about today is if you're raising funding, you're going to have a number of issues, challenges, tasks that you have to work with in that you're going to reach out to people to ask them for funding. You're going to make a pitch. And quite classically, you've already talked to everybody you know. So now you're going to start talking to people you don't know. You're going to get introduced. You're going to cold call. You're going to make a pitch at an open place. And you're going to meet a whole bunch of people. And you have to sort and sift through these people in order to find those that are willing to invest. And part of that can start at the very inception, though, is when you're looking for an investor candidate, you're trying to figure out who cares about the
Oops.
benefit from the success, and they make the highest and bestest investor candidates to work with. And so artificial intelligence can help you understand this, help you identify investor candidates. And then a little creativity is needed to figure out what kind of offer will match up with these investors. And then you have to put it into documents where, again, AI can help you put the document together to have a clear and concise voice of what it is that you're trying to tell in your story. And then we move on to the capital campaign, where you are trying to deal with a whole lot of new people, deal with potential relationships. And again, AI can play a role, which is it can assist you in handling all these new people, all these new relationships, all the different transactions that are going to take place. And so we're going to kind of talk through this today, and we'll work with that. So before we step forward, have with us in the audience today Don Cohen, who came in on LinkedIn, which is a side story we'll get into later. But Don is a expert on LinkedIn and particularly the use of LinkedIn Live to share your story, build your brand, build your community of people who share in what you're trying to do. And so I'm working with Don and a group of other people where we compare notes and we learn and we compare notes to try to deal with a lot of the different issues that can occur. So going back then to Emiliano, tell us how AI can be a tool in a toolbox for the average business.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people have a misunderstanding of what AI does, and or just simply don't understand how it can help them. And so we'll try to dissipate some of those myths and try to bring some understanding to the whole thing. For one, so my approach in how to use AI is to really use it as a companion, and basically to use it as a you know, as an aid to get answers for yourself, but also uh, to publish information that you may want others to have. So there's the AI out there that you could just buy off the shelf, and it has its own knowledge. But then you have the what we have created, which is knowledge avatars, that you can train with your own knowledge, so that you can then use that AI to expand your own capabilities in communicating to others, teaching others, or just giving them information that you may not always have the time to do. So you can put it on your website, and you can create a knowledge avatar and put that on your website. So just like we did with Capital Coach, it's a knowledge avatar that has your knowledge, but it also has the greater knowledge of capital, of raising money, and capital markets. So it's a combination of your knowledge and the knowledge, the sort of the group knowledge of other of other experts like yourself. So it's a very powerful companion that can be used for yourself, to just learn about how to raise money, or if I'm interested in raising money, I can talk to Capital Coach. But it's also like a doppelganger of you, a copy of you that that's out there helping others learn what you know.
So there's a couple points that I want to drill down on. And one is the difference between an artificial intelligence avatar and a chatbot, because to me, these are major distinctions. There are chatbots everywhere on the internet, and they have a value to what they do, but they have a limitation in that they have a set of scripts that they respond to whenever they get a question. And so it isn't as though they're thinking through this or their brain is activated and they're responding to something. They're told, when you hear this question, this is the answer you give. And it creates a limitation on how much information they can share, the ability to understand the question and to give you a proper response. So, with an AI avatar, again, it's not a sentient being, it isn't thinking through this. But as many have experienced with Chat GBT and any of the other AIs out there, what it can do is it can interact with you better because it takes all the information. It has a better ability to interpret the question you present, and this then can give you a much more precise answer. It can, in some ways, amplify and give you information beyond anything you're going to get with a chatbot. So it's a major distinction. The other point that Emiliano was making is has to do with training. And so training is a word used with artificial intelligence where you have the ability to influence what it knows or what kind of answers it can provide to you for particular questions. And in some cases, training is very complex, very difficult, time consuming, and one of the things that I particularly appreciate about what Emiliano has accomplished with knowledge avatars is that training is almost instantaneous in that you can drag and drop information into a folder and the avatar immediately absorbs that information. So, what I've done with my avatar, which we'll introduce here in a moment, is we've taken all of my instant funding newsletters, ones which I've published every day since December 1st of last year. I think we're somewhere up in the 260 issue range. And we took the entire content of the newsletters and we cut and pasted it into the AI avatar. So now all that content that I created that is unique to me is now embedded in the avatar so that if you ask it a question that touches upon anything I've written about, it can answer the question. And so this is a very important aspect of what you can do with an avatar as a tool in your toolbox as part of what you can do for helping your business. So I'm now going to turn on the screen and show Cap, the name we gave to my avatar. And Emiliano, if you could walk us through this and explain CAP and how it works, and then we can dive into how it can be best applied, or an AI avatar can best serve a small business or a community in their general operations as well as in raising funding.
Yeah. So, well, let's in general, let me make this clear. So we can train these bots these AI bots with your own knowledge. That's the most important element of this. And also our technology, our proprietary technology, helps the bots understand the content and understand how to teach this content. So if you wanted to teach somebody something, for example, you can specify as the instructor, as a curriculum designer, you could specify with our bots what are the prerequisites to learn something. So which concepts do you need to be able to understand some other concept? And it's a very simple matter of making those links, but that makes the bot smarter because then the student or whoever it is can ask a question: what else do I need to know, or what am I missing? And the bot can help the student navigate through that information. No other no other system that I know of can do that. Um, so the other thing is that you said you were uploading content to your bot, and you have uploading articles and so forth. So the way knowledge avatars works is that when you ask the bot a question, it will go through all the content that you have created, that you have uploaded, and it'll try to make sense of that. Now, of course, the more structured it is, the more you cut it into small pieces and put it into concepts and so forth, and create examples, the more you structure your content, the easier it is for the bot to understand, because it's sort of like the bots are smart, but they're not geniuses, So they still have to try to understand the content. But once you have done that, and once you put up your content, and you ask it a question, it will first go through your content and try to make sense of it and answer based on your content. If it cannot find the answer to your question from the content that you uploaded yourself, then it will go to OpenAI, which is what we use in the background, and they'll grab information that from those databases. And the information that you enter yourself, by the way, is completely private. It does not go to OpenAI or any other database. They're completely separate entities. So they're sitting on our servers, on Amazon servers, and under lock and key, so to speak. So I can ask any question I want. Maybe you should suggest a question that we should ask Capital Coach, and I'll
Yeah,
type it
let's
in.
ask the question, what does an
Eh,
investor look for in an investment?
Yes. And by the way, I just want to point that out to people that there's a microphone. You can turn the microphone on, so you can actually speak to the bot and just have a regular conversation with it. You can have it'll talk back with voice, or you can turn that off if you just want text. The image at the top is customizable. We have about 30 or 40 different bot characters that you could use as well. Some are some are cartoonish and some are customized. Here we have one that's customized for you, and we're coming up with more and more capabilities to make our bots friendly and easy to use. One thing you could do, you can embed these bots in your own website, or you could just run it off your phone like an app. All right. So what was the question again, Carl? Please.
What does an investor look for in an investment?
I'm going to type it in just so that because otherwise the bot doesn't know if I'm speaking to you, Carl, or speaking to it. Right?
So Emiliano, I'm not hearing the voice. Are you able to
Uh,
switch um, microphone to the avatar?
okay. So when I clicked on screen sharing, I didn't see a button. Okay. I'll stop screen sharing. And I'll share it again. Well, it's giving a pretty complex answer there.
Yes, it is.
All
Um,
right. Let me stop screen sharing. I didn't see a button for it to share the screen, the sound. Uh, okay, let's share window. Let's go back there. Hmm. It doesn't have a.
a new feature for that.
It just says presenter overlay.
This is what I like about my show is we're always challenging the limits. It's kind
That's
of like
right.
Star Trek where we go where man has never gone
Never been
before.
before.
Um,
Let's try it again.
uh,
It doesn't. Yeah, it does not give me the option to wait. Oh, maybe now it does. Hold on a sec. Sharing mic mode. Okay, let's say standard.
as you can see, the question was asked, what does an investor look for in an investment? And the avatar gave a what looks like a multi-point
Yeah.
response, um, talking about all the different things that are considered by an
Yeah.
investor in looking at an investment.
Did you hear that, Carl? The last thing it said.
I'm sorry, I was talking. Repeat that.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask it to say something.
No,
Can you
I'm
hear?
not.
Can you hear that?
I'm
No.
not hearing it. No.
Yeah. I.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we'll work on this for future episodes. But
Yes. We are.
um, the point here is that um, this avatar has the capability of taking all the information that I've provided, which is my own unique information. So it's not available through the internet, through ChatGPT, in the sense that you can immediately access all this information. 250 plus articles are included here. You could do an internet search. You could go into LinkedIn and search on topics for individual articles. All that information is there. And it's possible some of the new AI supported search tools could help you find this information. But it's all consolidated, aggregated within this avatar so it can answer the questions 24 by 7, 365 days a year. And this is one of the values that I see is most important because as Emiliano was describing, the avatar was generated on a learning management system. Its primary purpose is to teach and to support educators in putting on different types of educational programs. But from a business standpoint, what that means to me is that when I get a question and I need to give an answer, I treat that as a single point of education taking place. Somebody says, well, how do I do this? I give an answer. I'm educating them on that. And it's a single question, single teaching moment with just in time knowledge. And that means that anytime that someone comes to me and is looking for assistance, advice, directions, introductions, and so forth, I can have this information trained into the avatar so I don't have to be personally present in order to present this particular information. The avatar can act like a digital receptionist or an information assistant who can answer questions all the time from people who may be all over the world who who are saying, well, how do I do this? Or, what is a convertible note? Giving definitions, says, how do I go about putting together a pitch deck? They can come to the avatar, they can ask the question. If it's in the repertoire, if that means if it's within the information that I've trained it on, I know precisely what information it's going to get, which is basically a reflection or a mirror image of what I would have said to the person, but I don't have to be present. So the avatar could be taking tens, thousands of calls a day, so to speak. And that time is saved to me because even though I might be asked the same question 10 times during the day, I'm going to give the same answer, but I don't have to be present to do it. So I've just
But
saved myself all
I
that
just asked it
particular
how to
time.
write a pitch deck, by the way, and it gave me an outline for a pitch deck.
Yeah. So this is an example of how you can use it to help put together your business opportunity, how you can help craft your documents for a fundraising campaign. You can put it on your website, embed it into your website, where people come into the website, and instead of having to flip through all the tabs across the website to find a particular piece of information, it can simply ask the avatar a question or where to go or what it needs to do next. And all this information is there. So it would be basically equivalent to where we used to be 5, 10 years ago. A person would walk into an office building and say, "Hey, I'm looking for this. Do you guys, sell this? Can you help me? Who do I talk to?" And it can answer all these questions. And because it is digital, it's constantly available. And I can put it on a website, I could put it on a funding platform, and it's available to help out in that regard. So to me, this is a major leap forward in my time management and my ability to work with more people and work with them to get them the information they're looking for, that may help me later, determine that I can work with them as a consultant or as a coach, or I may direct them to other people who can help them better than I can on whatever their particular question is going to be. So, Emiliano, share a little bit more about the feature set. Now, in this case, as you can see, we've created the avatar to look like me. And that's unfortunate for the avatar, I guess is the best way to frame that. But what are all the different options that a person would have for creating an avatar with regard to language or looks or sound and so forth?
Yeah, so um, the avatar character or its face can be changed, of course. I think we have about 30 or 40 different choices right now. We are also rapidly moving into more and more realistic avatars, and eventually avatars that can be customized, easily customized. And obviously, we created this one for you, but we want to make it as easy as possible. Uh, I should point out that people can come into knowledgeavatars.ai, start an account. It's a free account, and then decide to create their own knowledge avatars. When they create their knowledge avatars, they have a 30-day free trial, and they can and then it's $20 a month, and the $20 a month gives you 500 interactions, or 500, we call them turns, 500 questions and answers. So which is quite a lot. Most people don't need as much. Some people need more, but I think most people can live with 500. Um, the You can select also different voice. We have different voices. In the near future, we are also going to have different languages. We do support different languages, but we haven't made that an automatic process yet. Uh, so when you train the bot with content, which is just a matter of uploading it into the system, into our system from the Knowledge Avatars website. Once you upload it onto our platform, you can also upload videos and you can upload images. So now you're customizing the response so that the bot is giving you information is giving the user information that you want it to have. So if it's a bot that's going to be living on your website to assist people with your website, then it'll be very it's a very it could be answering questions or providing an introductory video to your services, for example. So if somebody asks the bot, "What does my bot? What do you do? What kind of consulting do you do?" uh, it can provide a video. Um, some people are bringing this are thinking about using it in doctors' offices, for example. I was speaking to somebody this morning about that, and for obviously not for private information, but for general information. What does appendectomy look like? And it could either and the bot can deliver a small short video or just talk about it, or provide images that describe the process. Um, so again, the training process is very easy. As you said earlier, it's almost instantaneous. You put in the content, within the minute, the bot's brain has been refreshed, and it can now access that information. Um,
So this is where I see this can be so valuable to a small business, and it's a tool that I'm continuing to try to figure out how to make it useful, particularly during a fundraising campaign, because there's so much information that needs to be given by the small business to an investor candidate. This is commonly done through a slide deck, an offering memorandum, or a lot of supplemental materials that may be reviewed during a due diligence process. If you go to any of the crowdfunding platforms that are out there for Reg CF, they will have a list of different documents that are required to be displayed during a crowdfunding offering, which will provide financial information. It may provide ownership information, the investment agreement. All these information can be added into an avatar so that questions can be asked about it. And then if they want to see a particular document, a link can be provided that the avatar says, you want to see the investment agreement, here's the link. The link then can take you to any of the documents that are included in the promotional materials in the pitch that you're making. And it just helps communication facilitate the movement of knowledge, in this case, about a particular offering in order to help do this. And, and what's interesting I found is that quite common. A person will come in who is an investor, and particularly in a Reg CF where everyone can invest, and their knowledge about investing is limited, and so they often will have lots of questions as they try to zero in on what is this about, how does it work, how does it compare with something they think they know something about already, and it allows them to get comfortable, to get educated, not only about this offering, but about different elements. So, as an example, Emiliano, could you put in what is a convertible note as a question?
yes. Um, I'm sorry, I just lost my mouse here. Okay, there we go. By the way, I just wanted to point out that you were talking also about uh, teaching. It's like a slideshow kind of thing, and so I asked it to list subjects. So it has certain subjects that you put in. And these subjects can be a series of different slides. So, for example, in our case, there are 6 subjects. One was taking capital, one is different services that you offer, and then the motivated money method was one of them. So I asked it, tell me about the motivated money method, and it tells me what it is, and then I can just say go next to go to the next slide, so to speak, so that I can go through the process of understanding a series of different things that you put in there. And the question you wanted right now, Carl, was
What is a convertible note?
it's a convertible.
It's taking longer than usual to answer, but this is a problem that comes up is you'll put together a slide
Okay.
deck on, here's the answer
A
in several
convertible note is a
parts.
type of promissory note. I guess we went into more detail than we expected. That allows an investor to provide cash to a small business in exchange for the option to convert the debt into equity ownership at a later date. This type of financing instrument provides a safeguard to the investor by deferring the acquisition of ownership rights until certain conditions are met. Additionally, the convertible note typically includes a fixed date for repayment and may involve the pledge of selected assets as collateral to protect the investor in case of business failure.
Um, it's unfortunate, but the avatar will speak this aloud as well as give you a written narrative for you to read. But this is a common issue where somebody puts together a pitch deck and they put in it terminology that is actually a form of slang, or it's a very well defined term in securities law or in the sale of securities. And the average person on the street might kind of understand it, might not really understand it to a point of comfort, which is feeling that they understand what's going on, and they can go to the avatar and they can say, well, what is a convertible note? Which is a promissory note with an option within the note to change it into an ownership interest in the person or the business that's making the offer. A very common form of raising capital or deal structure. And then there are 10 or 20 or 100 more questions that could be asked because as in any investment agreement, you can change different things from the term of the note, the interest rate, what is the conversion rate to equity, what are the conditions under which the conversion can occur. And so this is very helpful to have this background because a lot of small businesses, like the investor candidate, they're saying, well, I understand what a convertible note is, but I might have trouble explaining what it is to someone, or they may ask me a question that's like one step beyond my knowledge, and I need to answer it in order to keep the person interested and confident in moving forward with this. So we're still working to train the avatar to have additional information, and this is going to be a continuous, ongoing process
Yeah, and
to
even
make
here
it.
in this example, so one of the great things about working with AI is that let's say I didn't understand any particular part of this, like a convertible note is a type of promissory note. Well, okay, so what is a promissory note? So that's sort of like a prerequisite here, right? So I can just ask it, what is a promissory note, and uh, and it will get me an answer on that in a few seconds here. There we go. So now we have an answer for what a promissory note is. So we can keep on. So it's a type of formalized IOU. It says. So we keep on drilling down and getting more and more information that try to get that from an article. If somebody writes an article with a lot of legalese or a lot of jargon, then it's harder to get to it. You have to open up a separate dictionary, whether it's online or paper, doesn't matter. But you'll have to have several documents open to try to get to get the information. Whereas when you have a conversation with a bot, you can get the information immediately. and just keep on drilling down until you have an understanding of what the concepts are.
Right.
And
And
we
this
and we
is
use the word I use the word
again,
concepts a lot. I want people to understand. I use the word concepts a lot. Like, what is a concept? We could ask that question too, by the way. But a concept is a piece of knowledge. So all knowledge is made up of concepts, and then concepts can be broken down into smaller concepts. So that is the essence of what that's how bots think. They have these different concepts, but that are represented in their brain.
so that if you think about this, you're going to do an offering. It may be very simple. You're going to sell a little bit of equity. You're going to do private promissory notes. And you can have this pitched through, say, a Reg CF campaign where
Yeah.
everyone can invest. You've set the minimum offer at $100 to invest. And as a consequence, you're going to have a large number of people accept your proposal in order to attain your capital goal within your campaign. And the number of questions that you can have to answer from people can quickly overwhelm a small business. I work with small businesses who had to hire two or three people to do nothing except answer questions relative to their capital campaign as temporary assistants who came in. They had to be trained up, and then they were basically taking emails, taking phone calls, other inquiries so that they could help walk people through the process. And as much as I'm familiar with how to make an investment through a regulation CF investment crowdfunding platform, if it's your first time through, it's a little bit of a challenge because you have to go, well, I go to this page, I'm on this platform, and the platforms present the information differently. So one platform may start with information part B, and other one starts with part C. Some may have the documents easily accessible within a scroll down type of things, where others you'll have to go to a table to find the document you're looking for. These are all things that make it harder for people to invest. And today, people want this quick information. They want to be able to move through a process smoothly. And your ability to talk with them while they're going through a crowdfunding platform is limited, where they'd have to stop in the middle and give you a call. And if you're not available, then you can't help them while they're trying to make an investment decision. So there's so many different things you can do with this in support of a capital campaign that this is why I've been working with Emiliano for the last few years, because I understand the need to make this kind of information readily available, easily accessible, without overwhelming the small business or whoever's raising the funding, so that it can assist them in going through the process. But if we start talking about, well, if you can answer these kinds of questions about a capital campaign, consider what else that you could do with regard to running your business. You could have a assistant help you with sales. You could have it help you with questions on internal operations. It can get to a point where it can start facilitating things. So I see just constant major improvements, advancements. And I'm working with a variety of AI supported software tools, and they're all kind of popping up all over the place, but they're not integrated yet where one's necessarily talking to another. But that will come. And this will continue to help you upgrade the quality of your operations, your communications, help you develop relationships with people you need to work with, help you find information you're looking for. And so altogether, it represents this major breakthrough, as I said, a disruptive type breakthrough, where businesses who avail themselves of artificial intelligence tools are going to be able to do more, better, quicker, faster with less cost. And to some degree, if you're raising funding, it can help you stand out from your competition. This is something that I talk about repeatedly, that every time you go out to raise funding, you're competing with anybody else who wants funding from that same source. It may be another business, it may be a charity, it may be a business partner, it could be a spouse of one of the entrepreneurs. All the money's coming out of essentially the same pocket, and your pitch to that investor is going to be drawn upon that same limited source of funding, and you want to put yourself in a position where they view you with high credibility, high capability. And one of the ways to do that is to smoothly, easily give them the information they're looking for when they're considering you as an investment candidate. So, Emiliano, uh, tell me where you think you're going next with avatars, applications, things that might become valuable to a small business or to a community project, not just in raising money, but any aspect of their operations.
Well, in terms of the capabilities of the AI, you mean, um, or how they can be applied? Like,
I think it'd be more in the application range. What do you see businesses might start doing? You're talking with a wide variety of people right now about different applications for avatars, and where do you see people
yeah,
may be moving next?
yeah. Well, one thing I want to make clear is that we're a tools company, and in the sense that we've created the platform and to make it easy for people to create very capable, extremely capable AI with a basic goal of those AI being either tutors or advisors or coaches. So so given that capability, we will help companies or individuals start a company to that uses AI in some fashion. So uh, you know, there are a few ideas that we're working with, a number of people that we're working with right now. I can't talk too much about them, but if you uh, want to have a conversation with me, and we will, in a sense, mentor you and help you start your own business that's AI related. So earlier we talked about doctors' offices. Well, if you wanted to start a business where you provide doctors with AI that helps, this is a big problem right now. Doctors don't have the time. They don't have the help that they used to have in the office, and the people who are available are, they're not only are they overwhelmed, but they're doing things that are much more critical. They can't be there answering questions, just general questions. On the other hand, the internet is there. People can just Google the answer, but you can get a lot of bad information from the internet, and a lot of information that actually the doctors don't appreciate, because now they're dealing with, not only are they dealing with a distressed patient, but they have to cut through all the mythology. One thing about AI is that it isn't trained from just random information. It is and it grabs information based on the statistical validity of that information. So if you're asking a medical question, the chances of you getting a good answer is a lot better than you going just googling it. And so I wouldn't necessarily use it as a diagnostic tool, but certainly as an informational tool for an office. I think you can get much better results and happier patients if you're a doctor. So that's a business opportunity. We will help you set things up and train it if it needs any training. Often it doesn't need that much training, but we'll help you to set it up. And at $20 a month to start, it's a great value.
Yeah, so I'm I'm looking at setting up avatars for each of my clients' projects I'm working with. And the way I anticipate doing that would be to um, work with Emiliano, have a dedicated avatar created that's hosted on his platform, but I can link and embed that avatar into my website as I've shown here at the bottom of the screen. If you go to my website, dakincapital.com, I have a tab there for the capital coach called CAP, and you can go there and ask it questions as long as you want. There's no limit on that. And this is a service that I'm providing in concert with my work here in LinkedIn to share information to as many people as possible. This is kind of my part of my pay it forward approach to building my brand and building my community that may lead then to an engagement as a consultant to work with a particular company. And so this is my way of using this particular avatar. And this, if you want to check it out, this is an example. You can always also go to Knowledge Avatar's website, which I've displayed here on the screen, and Miliano has a variety of different avatars that can do things from teach you how to play chess to speak English to other skills that you can learn where an avatar is placed in a more common learning setting rather than the
We have a
just in
wine.
time thing.
We have a wine
Yeah,
guru.
yeah, wine guru. So if you need to pair that particular Chardonnay with a type of food, this is where you can go to get that kind of information. And actually, the number of applications is endless. Where we used to joke that they'd show a commercial, well, actually going all the way back to the cop shows in the 70s, where the two guys would be in the car and they would get a picture or something, and they'd have this database that would automatically go through all the fugitives in the entire world and give them an instantaneous answer. And we just used to laugh at that because at that time that wasn't possible. And today we're getting closer, though, to that capability where police officers, safety officers can check somebody out and know if there's a warrant or they have a record or any number of pieces of information. Similarly, as Emiliana was talking about, you go into a doctor's office and it's a GP, general practitioner. That person, even if they stayed up 2 hours a night reading all the news on all the new medical breakthroughs, new discoveries, new approved drugs, so forth and so on, could not begin to keep up with the volume of information that's there. Whereas an avatar can be suited for that purpose and thereby give this general practitioner one more tool in their toolbox to work with their patients and to help them in practicing medicine. We could go on where AI avatars, we've talked to people about robots that wander around an airport area where they can talk to the robot just like a information desk and say, where am I? But they're not limited to a single language. They can speak multiple languages and dialects of different languages and understand them and give a response. They may be able to give directions. They may be helpful in other areas during the course of an emergency. You might have these types of information kiosks, however they're designed on wheels or available, um, to help disseminate information, even when the internet is down. In its usual fashion, a satellite link might continue to supply information in a community such as Connecticut. I saw this morning where flooding from the hurricane is causing severe damage. So you have all these opportunities to use AI either to assist you in a business or it could become a business in its own right. And it's
Yeah,
something that I
I like
recommend
to put
everybody
out
explore.
I'd like to put out an idea for somebody. As you know, the in any business, it's not just the idea, right? It's the execution of the idea that matters the most. Ideas are cheap in essence, um, and what we have provided here is an AI toolkit for people to easily and inexpensively get into the AI business. And there are a lot of obviously educational and training opportunities as well. But I'm just going to put up just one idea that I think if somebody wants to pick up on it, they should be talking to you today about raising funds for it. And that is manuals, product manuals. And with knowledge avatars, you can have a QR code on the machine, this is a Xerox machine or whatever machine you're talking about, and the people working there could just use the QR code, and the bot pops up on their screen, and they can ask questions like how do I change the toner, or how do I change the ink, or whatever. Why is it? What kind of paper am I supposed to use? So, so that is a huge market that nobody has tapped yet, and I know people are thinking about it. It's good. Somebody will do it soon, but and like I said, we'll help people get into the business, and you'll help them raise money to do their
And,
marketing.
and let me add some icing to that cake because you can go to the avatar and you can say, how do I change the toner in my printer, which was an issue
Yeah,
recently in my
yeah,
office. We were having a little bit of problems. And it can say, here's the instructions and give you a narrative, but also it can provide, you can build in a link in the answer from the avatar. It says, would you like to see a video on how to do this, which would ordinarily jump you to a YouTube video, which is maybe where you stored it. And so now you have both a narrative description and you have a video link that's precise
yeah.
to whatever you're doing, whether it's, in my case, a particular type of Epson printer.
And let's
Where
make it
I,
clear. Let's make it clear that's available now. No, that's like that sounds.
yeah,
We're not talking about
you can
future
do
stuff.
this right now.
Today.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, today. And there are so many different things every day where you're trying to learn something and wading through some of the tutorials. Some of the manufacturers, vendors don't do a very good job. That's the nicest way of putting it. They do a terrible
That's a
job,
good way of putting
and
it.
you're trying to figure all this out because it's important for you right now, just in time information. It's not my intent to take an entire weekend to study the entire manual on how to printer. I want to know one thing, which is how do I get more ink into that printer so it can keep functioning right now? And setting up services like this over the top or in conjunction with a manufacturer or a service provider is all kinds of different jobs, businesses you can create that can go down this path. And if it gets into greater skill, then you can bring in a video from somebody like myself. I'm right now taking video clips through Opus AI from programs where I'm a guest or I'm a speaker. And we're cutting out clips of these, which we're going to add into the avatar. So when you ask it a question, it may say, would you like to see Carl talk about this particular topic? And if you click on the link, then here I am talking about the subject. So you can get multiple layers of information of different flavors, different media all together. So that is, in essence, the state of the art on what you can do today with an artificial intelligence avatar that can make your life better, address your need for assistance or help reduce your cost, improve the quality of what you're doing. And I'm so happy that we've reached this point and my work with Emiliano, where these tools are now available and I can work with my clients and my projects to use these tools to make these projects work better. So, Miliano, we're at the end of our hour. I very much appreciate your being here today and talking about using artificial intelligence avatars to help small businesses and particularly to help them with funding. Any last thoughts that you would like to share with our audience before we call it a day?
The main one I think is that there are so many different opportunities available, and if somebody presented me with a tool that would easily allow me to start up a business, it's like opening up a storefront for $20 a month, you know, and then it really gives people the opportunity to focus on what matters most, which is sales, sales and marketing, and we will provide them with the support and to get them started. And there are so many different ideas, and I'm open to the idea of brainstorming with somebody who may be interested in starting a business.
So there you go. Emiliano is available. Call this 900 or 800 number, not 900. Wrong
Call us
category.
soon.
Uh, yeah. But as
Email
I
me
have
and
here
we'll
on the
set up a
screen,
time.
yeah, contact him, talk to him about what he can do for you, but also go back to your business plan. Think through what you call sore points, or I call them kludge points, where you're the only person who can do something, and therefore certain things don't happen as quickly as you would like. Think about whether you can delegate that activity to an avatar so it can work on your behalf and free you up to do other things that you need to do in your business. And so, with those thoughts, thank you to the audience for being with us here today. This show is recorded on LinkedIn. It's also on YouTube and Facebook. So you can go to those other platforms as well and see a recording of the show. And then from there, feel free to reach out to myself to talk about funding or reach out to talk about artificial intelligence avatars. Take care.